What is up, guys? It's your boy Kittens coming back to you guys with the second time that I've built a deck that's going to warp or change a format. And this time it is Simic again. I am slowly becoming a criminal of Simic, like super strong, ridiculous decks. This is my Krasis Coma deck. If you guys want to just get the deck profile, skip all the way to the end. Otherwise, I'm just going to do a general discussion of like how the deck functions against other decks, its win rate stuff, as well as like, like top historic decks and stuff that I've seen just from playing for a long time in Arena. And I guess the easiest place to start is the top historic decks. I would say this new deck that I built, let's go, is Krasis Coma. I don't know if it's exactly the top deck. It does get beat out by a couple other decks. But what I would like to say is definitely 3 of the top 5 are definitely going to be White Angels or some form of like the Ajani life gain mixes I've seen with like Griffin's Eerie. Some of the White Angels I see, not using Ajani's because you need like the high consistency of like angel creatures. For the Coma deck, it drops pretty much every match against White Angels. It's kind of like the deck's kryptonite. For whatever reason, it just has a really bad matchup. Otherwise, it has a lot of difficulty with one of the other top decks in the format is definitely going to be red aggro with like Cavalcade and stuff like that, or some mix of that where I've seen some, black-red or Radkos? Yeah, like me trying to remember the color pies real quick. Definitely Radkos or like some form of red aggro. Being 3 of the top 5s. And the reason I wouldn't put any other ones in there is because we just got Brainstorms and we just got, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's the red draw spell with flashback for one mana. Those 2, because of the inclusion of those 2, I'm seeing a lot of weird decks that normally just don't really have a place in Historic, but because of those 2, even mine, using Simic, I use 4 Brainstorms in the deck. It really just is helping along a lot of these like weird decks that kind of can't find a place inside of Historic. Otherwise, I think there's a lot of room for those new decks, literally just because of that. And again, I'd say the top 3 is my Krasis Coma deck or some variants of that, and the red aggro stuff as well as White Angels are basically just like lifelink flyers. Because it seems like a pretty good trio, and I think there's going to be some cool new decks popping up because of some of the new stuff. Otherwise, I guess win-loss ratio for my deck, it literally has a perfect win rate against mid-range decks. Like, you play a mid-range deck, you just win. You just win later. I've dropped 1 match against Control, only 1. And that was in Diamond, so it almost has a perfect win rate against control decks. And by control decks, I mean like make you discard, make you like counter stuff, like things like that. And the only loss that I've gotten for control decks is inside of Diamond. So really competent player with really good deck. Other than that, it has basically like it loses literally every single game to White Flyers. Like I've literally won, I think one maybe 2 games against White Flyers. Like it is like kryptonite. Definitely has a bad win loss against like some aggro decks, but it's mostly red aggro, like mostly Cavalcade aggro. Most of the other decks that have aggro just aren't quite fast enough. Like, because if the person's trying to like win the game on turn 5 or so, you should be able to play your like River's Rebukes to bounce everything, or you're like taking extra turns if you prefer the extra turn side of the deck. It just depends like what you do. So usually at that point you're already gonna set up a win as well. It just depends. So it's an interesting in between. I'm definitely excited to see how it'll shake up the format and just kind of move things around. I am fingers crossed that I don't get another Simic card banned, because like as a Simic player, like long-term Simic player, like started Commander, okay, like just like whatever. I feel like Simic players are looking at me like, bro, like you gotta stop getting our good cards banned out of like every format. So I guess we'll see how it goes, and hope you guys enjoy the deck, build it yourselves, and get to run around, and hopefully I'll see some mirror matches, because so far no one's playing it, because yeah, it's just a new build that just happens to be one of the top tier decks in the format. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and it's been your boy Kittens, and I guess this comes the part of the deck. So peace.